Feel the air. It's heavy, thick with coat dust and the sweat of a dozen people. You can taste the iron on your tongue, and you can hear it. A sound that's been the heartbeat of progress for a century. That is the sound of a person, a steel-driving person. His name, the legend says, was John Henry. Now, you're probably thinking, Malcolm, why are you telling me about a 150-year-old folktale on a channel about data and artificial intelligence? Stick with me, because this story is the most important story for you to understand about the world in 2025 and 2026. It began in the 1870s, when the owner of an American railroad bought a new machine. It was a steam-powered drill that promised to cut through a mountain faster than any team of men. It was, at the time, a marvel of engineering. Well, sort of. For the workers, it was far from a marvel. It was a threat, a mechanical monster that came to take their jobs. But John Henry, he wasn't afraid. He made a wager. His hammer against the machine. A race to see who could drill farther and faster. The race began. On one side, the machine, chugging and hissing, pounding rock into dust. And on the other was John Henry, swinging a 10-pound hammer in each hand. An absolute engine of flesh and bone. And surprisingly, after 1 hour of fury and fire, John Henry had won. He had drilled 14 feet into the rock. The machine had only done 9. He proved that, yes, a man could beat a machine. But as the crowd cheered, Henry collapsed. Henry collapsed, hammer in hand, his heart having given out from the sheer strain of the event. In essence, Henry had won the battle, but he lost the war. So, what does this legend have to do with us, normal people today, in 2025? Right now, millions of people are picking up our hammers, preparing to race a new kind of machine. The problem is, this machine isn't made out of steel and steam. It's made out of data and algorithms. And it isn't coming for our muscles. It's coming for our minds. The mountain that John Henry was drilling through, well, that was the sum of all physical labor. A challenge that could be overcome with strength and grit. But today's mountain is far different. It's the sum total of all human intellectual and creative capability. Every book that we've written, every song we've created, or every painting or video. Every single scientific discovery and every line of code. AI is the new steam drill, built to tunnel through the mountain of knowledge at a speed that we can barely comprehend. And we are already getting to a point, if you look at LM Arena and you use the battle mode and you're testing different models against each other, it's getting to the point where comparing two results from frontier models, it can be difficult to actually tell which one is better. There obviously is one that can subjectively be better than the other, but distinguishing between it is getting more and more difficult. Humanity is obviously not new to extreme and seemingly sudden shifts in technological advancement, such as the Industrial Revolution that replaced muscle, similar to the steam drill, and the computer revolution that automated multiple repetitive tasks. But this is a bit different. AI is coming for cognitive work, the things that we believed made us uniquely human. Definitely, early AI was clunky. Remember Clippy? Remember those early AI-generated images where people had 7 fingers and text was complete gibberish? Which today doesn't seem too long ago. And a lot of us, we laughed. But these systems are evolving rapidly, even exponentially. And this brings us to the most uncomfortable question. After John Henry's tragic victory, how many railroad companies kept hiring teams of men with hammers to drill tunnels, when one person operating a steam drill could replace an entire team? Today, one marketing professional armed with the right AI tools and knowledge of how to best utilize them can do the work of an entire team. That's research, copywriting, graphic design, and data analysis. They're not just 10% faster, they're potentially exponentially more productive. So what happened to those 9 other people? Here we are, we're at the foot of the mountain, watching this new machine warm up. And the natural reaction, of course, is fear. To ban or regulate it out of existence, or to ignore it or hope it just goes away. To pick up a hammer and prove that we can still beat it. And that would be the path of John Henry. It's certainly an understandable path, a noble one even. But history has shown us time and time again that this is a losing strategy. You aren't able to stop a tidal wave by standing in front of it. So let me ask you a different question. What if John Henry had made a different choice? What if instead of swinging a hammer against the steam drill, he had learned to operate it, to maintain, to aim it, and make it more efficient than its original creators had even imagined? He wouldn't be a laborer anymore. He would become an operator, a pilot, the most valuable person on the entire crew. So this is our path forward, not to compete against AI because it's already here and it's going to be here for a while to come, but instead to become what chess grandmaster Garry Kasparov called a Centaur, a human-AI partnership that can outperform any AI or any human that's working alone. So, what does this actually look like? Let's be concrete. A Centaur data analyst doesn't spend 3 hours manually cleaning datasets. They use AI to identify patterns and anomalies, but they apply human judgment to decide what's signal and what's noise. They don't spend days formatting reports, they generate them in minutes. Then they spend their time on what AI can't do, asking the right questions, understanding business context, and communicating these ideas to the stakeholders. The same principle will apply across all fields. A Centaur writer would use AI to generate first drafts and research, but they would bring their own unique human creativity, emotional intelligence, editorial judgment, and personal experience. A Centaur designer would use AI to create variations and iterations, but then would apply their knowledge of taste, cultural awareness, and strategic thinking. At the end of the day, people still need to be able to identify the best answer. So here's the key insight. AI is a tool for thought multiplication, not thought replacement. The society that will emerge from this revolution won't be divided by rich and poor in the traditional sense. Instead, it will be divided by those who learn to amplify their capabilities with AI and those who don't. And here's the good news. Jobs are not all disappearing. Companies and individuals have the same exact needs, but the role of someone who refuses to integrate AI into their workflow is definitely threatened. And this threat doesn't come from AI replacing them, but instead because someone else using AI is 10 times more valuable. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. This sounds like adapt or die. What about people who aren't able to access these tools? And what about entire industries being disrupted? And those are very valid concerns. I'm not saying that this transition will be painless or equitable. There will be a real disruption, real job displacement, and we need to think seriously about policy, retraining, and safety measures. But on an individual level, within your sphere of control, you have a choice right now. You can approach this moment with curiosity or with fear. Fear says, this is far too complicated. I'll just wait and see what happens. Maybe it won't even affect me. Curiosity says, this is already happening. What can I do today? Here's what I recommend. You don't need to become an AI engineer. You don't need to understand neural networks or transformer models. All you need to do is start experimenting. This week, not next month, this week. Pick one task that you can do regularly and explore how AI could assist with it. Maybe it's summarizing research, drafting emails, analyzing data patterns, making or brainstorming ideas. Pay attention to what AI does well and what it sucks at. Notice where you add value that AI can't. And that's your leverage point. That's you becoming irreplaceable. Because here's the truth. AI won't necessarily take your job, but somebody using AI might. The question isn't whether you need to pick up the hammer or not. The question is, are you going to race the machine, or are you going to learn how to drive it? Don't be John Henry. Be the operator. And if you want a more practical breakdown of how to actually implement AI in your workflow, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. And if this shifted your perspective on AI, please let me know in the comments below. The mountain is not going anywhere, but how we get through it, that's up to us. I really hope you enjoyed today's data drop, and I'm really excited to see what the future holds, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.